Hello there and welcome to the QNB Stars League preview show, all in English here on Alcas, as we look ahead to all 6 matches in week 20 in the company of former English Premier League players Nick Summerby and Chris Makin. Now, 3 rounds to go, including this one, and the league could be won this weekend, depending on how results go. So, league leaders Ahli could be celebrating, Chris Makin.
They could be, but outside, we'll have a say. The first up against Al, they've got to win the game. A draw or a loss, and that's it. It's Ahli's, but they've come so close, haven't they? Outside been superb in this second part of the season, but Ahli just that little bit better.
And with 3 weeks to go, we could find out what Al Marqia's fate is. If they lose and teams above them win, it's all over this weekend.
Yeah, it's difficult for Marqia. I think it's a matter of time, really. I think what we've got to look at after that is Karatia. Can they try and get out of that of the bottom two? But we have to say as well, let's go back to last weekend with De Gea and Al Sadd. I mean, that was a game of football, wasn't it? Absolutely fantastic. I think De Gea want to get the job done now, and then they can concentrate on the Cups and obviously the Champions League as well.
Yeah, 30 goals in week 19. Week 20 has a lot to live up to, that's for sure. Plenty to come from Nick and Chris over the next half hour, but now let's just show you the league standings going into this week and how they line up for week 20 with Shadin Wadan.
Going into week 20 of the QNB Stars League, Al Dahel could win the league this week if they win and Al Sadd lose. Rayyan are set to finish in 3rd, but 4th spot looks like it's going to be contested between Slal and Al Gharrafa. Although mathematically we still can't rule out Al Saliya, but their chances have drifted substantially. Down at the bottom, one more defeat for Al Marqiya will consign them to the 2nd division, as long as Al Khor and Al Arabi win their matches. As for the fixtures, on Friday the 9th of March, Al Saliya meet Al Gharrafa at 1800, the same time as Slal and Al Sadd, and Al Rayyan will face Al Arabi at 2010, the same time as Al Khritiyat and Al Dahel. On Saturday the 10th, Al Khor are up against Qatar Sports Club at 1800, and Al Ahli are up against Al Marqiya at 2010 Doha time.
Thank you, Shadin. First up, it's Al Saliya versus Al Gharrafa. Oh, I got a big question for Nick and Chris. Straight off the bat this week, I'm putting the graphic up. This from stats, of course. Al Saliya and Al Dahel, they're the statistics we got there. Look, the passing success rate, 80.8% Al Saliya. Al Dahel, the best team in the league, 85.2, not far off. Crossing success rate, Al Saliya, better than Al Dahel. Shooting accuracy, only 1% in it. And I'll tell you, when you compare Al Saliya's statistics with Al Khor's last weekend, when they lost the game, they were far, far superior. So my question is, who was, Chris, you can go first. What are they doing wrong? Because Sami Trabelsi said in last week's press conference, I tell you what, we are playing better than the teams that our opponents. And when you look at the statistics, they are, but they're losing the game.
Well, they've had a big problem the last few months, and especially since they come back since the mid-season break. I think it's more to do with off-the-field problems, problems off the field. Really is.
But even if you've got those problems off the field,
no, it has a big effect on you. It does. As a group, if you're not all pulling in the same way, you're not all happy. It has a real effect on the results. It does.
And you've got to, if you're going to go away from that, it's great having all that, which is wonderful, but scoring goals, that's what they did early in the season, and he really did. Obviously, what Chris said is a major part to do with it, but they can't get it going again. I mean, he must be looking at thinking, well, we're doing everything here now. They just can't. They're just those players what were firing at the start aren't firing now. Okay, let's hear from Al Saliya's head coach Sami Trabelsi.
I think it's psychological, our problem. When you see the statistic from the team, there is something wrong. I think you know, when we play every game since the second half for the league, I feel that the player not very strong in the psychological aspect. One problem or one mistakes and all the team come down. I think we need big mentality, big psychology to to pass the problem when they arrive in the field.
That's why a lot of these big teams these days bring psychologists in. They got to deal with it. Let's look at the psychology of their opponents. Al Gharafa, they're having no problems, Nick.
Flying, and you'd think to yourself, well, hang on a minute, they're going to get the top four. But a total change in at their club, obviously, since the managers come in and key players and this guy here, Schneider. The club is on the up now. It really is, and I think they will get the top four. I mean, when they first came, I think you asked the question, do you think they'll get it? They were 8 or 9 points off it. I thought, well, you know, not at all. Salih and Salal, it hasn't happened for them, even though Salal started to pick it up a little bit. But this side, they've got it. They want that 4th spot, you know, and rightly so. You should be loads of confidence. They've got loads of confidence. They're in the Champions League.
They've had some great results in the Champions League, by the way.
I'm just thinking as well, could you see them lifting up a trophy, Chris, at the end of the season? If they finish 4th, they've got the Qatar Cup, then they'll have the run in the Emir Cup, of course.
I only mentioned the Champions League there because they're playing at the biggest competition in this area. It's the highest level, and they keep getting these good results in the Champions League. That's going to give them the motivation and the belief. So Coach Jürgen can always turn around and say, listen, told you, bring Schneider in, Taremi, the centre forward. You know, these players are going to help you. We're going to get the results. Now they're getting the results. Just beat Al Rayyan. What if they get Al Rayyan in the Qatar Cup? 3 weeks back, 4 weeks back, we're beating them 6-1.
OK, well, let's hear from the Al Gharafa camp and Diogo Amado.
They are a team who like to play. They have a good way to play. They like to be with the ball. We remember at the first game we have the chance at least to draw, and we cannot. And we know that the way they want is to stay with the ball, to make us run. But we have working on the best way to prepare this game. And inshallah, as I said before, we're going to win tomorrow.
OK, well, he thinks they're going to win. What do Nick and Chris think? Nick?
Gharafa for me.
Al Gharafa.
Gharafa for me, 2-1.
Chris?
I will go 2-0, Al Gharafa.
All right, thank you very much. Next up, Salal versus Al Sadd. Let's not forget Salal. They're still in for a shout with a 4th spot.
Yeah.
You know, Chris, let's remind ourselves what happened in this 2-2 draw against Qatar Sports Club. A bit odd because they took a 2-goal lead. Not to take anything away from Qatar Sports Club, but with a team that's going for 4th and takes a 2-goal lead, you'd expect them to hold it.
Yeah, it's them and Al Salih, it's like that. They don't want this 4th spot. I mean, to go 2-0 up, and with Sagbo in your side and good players in the side, you expect them to see the game out. Before the game out, I did think it would be a close game, but when they went 2-0 up, I was very surprised when they let it go because, like I say, we keep saying the same thing. They're chasing this 4th spot, and it's like they don't want it. Well, at this stage of the season, they should be enjoying this relishing the prospect of getting in the 4th spot. And, you know, Al Gharafa, since the start of the year, we're, what, 8 or 9 points behind? Yeah, they've made that ground up on Salal and Al Salih. They'll be so disappointed. But
if there's a side there that could cause an upset against an Al Sadd side, which you don't get, they've had a difficult week, not gone so well in the Champions League for them, mainly because of the game. The game was so big last week and it went in De Gale's favour. And if they look at that game, it was theirs. It was theirs, wasn't it? They took the lead twice. You know, it was. And I'm just wondering what sort of part is that going to play? Are they going to be down now? You know, because it's all about their mental attitude really now, and not having Xavi in the side as well. So this could just be right for Salal. This could be the surprise. It could be the surprise result of the weekend.
OK, let's hear from Salal head coach then, Talal El Karkouri.
No, I'm not going to change the tactic because I'm playing against Sid. Of course, offensively they are good, especially that transition from defense to attack. I mean, in 5-6 seconds they can get to your box. I'm not going to change. I made a mistake because I didn't change against Hale. I didn't play offensively. I tried to wait in our half and using some counter-attack, but it wasn't good enough. And we conceded 4 goals, as you know, in the first 15 minutes. It was over for us. Against Al Sadd, we're going to play against a team that can use the build-up from their goalkeeper to the defense, from the defense to the midfielders, because of their quality, of course. They have some key players, as you know. They can score at any time. They can surprise us at any time. Hopefully we're going to be in a good shape during this game. Defensively we're going to be strong, hopefully. And let's see what's going to happen.
Well, he seems to have thought it out very thoroughly. Of course, we saw what happened against Al Duhail, as Talal reminded us. This is what they're up against, Al Sadd. And yes, Al Sadd lost, but they scored 3 goals, high-quality goals, Nick.
Yeah, it was wonderful. They came out early in the game, got the goal. Abdul Karim with a wonderful cross. There's our pal again there, Hamroon, wonderful first goal, just what they needed. And once again, just watch the movement here on Bunja. There's Hamroon again, only one place you can put it, just hang it up to that far post. And there he is with a wonderful finish, and it turned then. You thought, hang on a minute, you know, they were not in the game second half, and all of a sudden they just lifted it up. There's Xavi.
Here's a question for you, just quickly. Do you think they feel they can still win the title outside of the...
No. Listen,
the celebrations of Al Duhail, they celebrate as though they just won the title that evening. And then also had a bad result, got beat midweek as well.
Chris, if it's 3 points, yeah. 5 points is with a side what is unbeaten. You know, it's going to take some type of a miracle, and I think they know it deep down. And it's in their professional minds, they're going to say, "Come on, let's win every game in now." Hopefully, they're going to.
When you get that team sheet through, you'll know whether Ferreira's chucks it in or not. If he changes it a lot, then I think they've given it up.
All right, Salal Al Sadd then, Chris.
I'll still go Al Sadd 2-1.
OK, Nick?
I'll go for a 2-2.
OK, next up, it's Al Rayyan versus Al Arabi. Right, I'm not going to show the Hamad Allah goal for Al Rayyan because they got thumped 6-1. My question is, let's just go to Al Arabi. Let's jump straight to them. They had the good 3-1 win against Al Malkhia. Suddenly, it all seemed to come together. Yes, they're up against the bottom team of the league, but there was some cohesion there. There was some continuity. It didn't look bad.
Well, the goals that they scored were good goals. Team players, well, 2 or 3 players always involved in the move. There's the carry one there. They looked... Al Malkhia put a lot of pressure on them, but they looked comfortable soaking up Al Arabi. I think they are quite good defensively. And if they can attack like they did with these goals, then they've got a great chance to get a result against Al Rayyan.
Do you think Al Rayyan have sort of thrown the towel in on the league? I know they're professional players, but you know they know they're going to finish third. There's nothing else they can do. They're still doing well in the AFC Champions League. They had a fantastic win away against Al Hilal midweek. You know, this is great stuff for Al Rayyan. Do they just think, you know, let's just get through the league. Look, we're finishing third. That's the end of it.
If you want me to be blunt, yeah, I think that. I don't know what we don't know what's going to turn up in this game, but the Champions League is a massive result against a huge side as well, so that's got to give them confidence. And I do think they probably turned it off. Once again, let's have a look what sort of team they put out. But it was a big thumping in the last game. I mean, Laudrup was talking about he wanted every game them to play well, to keep the confidence going. I mean, that wasn't good. But then all of a sudden they have a fantastic result again in the Champions League. So it's a case of what Ryan's going to turn up really now.
Nick, talk us through Carey. We've been waiting for a performance from him. Well, he's put the effort in. He just couldn't get a goal. Suddenly,
I've got to say his teammates have done wonderful for him. Jardel, just look at Jardel getting on the opposite side. There's a nice little partnership working between those two. You know, he works hard, he gets on the outside of him, and they make it for Carey. My only problem is they don't use him a lot. He's in some fantastic areas sometimes, and they look at him and decide to pass it somewhere else. I'm delighted for him because it goes that way sometimes with football. It doesn't go your way, and all of a sudden you just need that little bit of a boost, and he got it in this game here now, and I'm delighted for him because I mean this is what I want more of. You know, pace and power.
He's a strong guy with incredible pace.
But use more of it. Get the ball on the outside, get on the back of the defenders, and let's have a look at that pace and power and give yourself a little bit more of a chance. But the club has changed. As much as a manager, his body language at the side of the pitch, his arms are going up. The team have got together in a difficult situation, all of a sudden turned it around, so maybe the manager's got to get behind him a little bit and start encouraging him.
All right, well, let's hear from him now. Luka Banasic.
Yes, okay, now, you know, it is problem maybe a little bit for us because player maybe, you know, take easily tomorrow. No, tomorrow is my job. I must prepare my player for tomorrow. We must come to field like, you know, the last chance for us. Player must go to fight, run. And also must respect our tactical point because Al Rayyan is Al Rayyan, have good quality.
Okay, so Al Rayyan versus Al Arabi, Nick.
Probably just a little bit too much ready for Al Arabi at the moment. I'll go for the 2-1 Rayyan.
Okay, Chris.
I'll go 1-1.
Oh, stop it, Chris.
Next up, Al Kharatiat versus Al Dahel. Al Kharatiat, how frustrated must they be? Let's remind ourselves again, week 19. Big defeat this in the end. There were moments, fantastic football, great goals again. Tibor Kaneen pops up, as he has done so often, but just not enough and keeps them in that relegation playoff spot.
I think that's a fair comment, not enough. They've been like that for quite a while now. I don't know, I just want to know where you was coming from at the start, where you said you'd be frustrated, Rod. What did you mean by that? Why would Al Kharatiat be frustrated?
Well, I think he's one example. Tibor Kaneen, he scored 12. So he scored 12 goals. He still puts a performance
I only
in.
say that
I think
the football club can't be frustrated as a whole because they haven't performed for me, not at all. In this stage of the season, you normally go on a little mini run, don't they? Did at the end of last season. 3 games left now. I think they're going to stay in that second off bottom. I think they'll win the playoff game. But I don't think they can be frustrated. I don't think they've performed.
Do you think if they keep think if they keep a clean sheet, that's enough?
In this match,
if they keep a clean sheet, yeah.
And they'll score goals. If they keep a clean sheet against Al Dahel, they deserve extra medals. I mean,
so do you think there'll be another question because they're coming in now? Do you think when Marquis go down, that'll be a sigh of relief for them?
Yeah, we're not on them at the moment.
No, I'm just saying because that means they're not going.
Get to them in a moment.
That means they're not going directly down. It's a playoffs. So the worst scenario is you have a one game at the end.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you're saying
they'll never give it up because there's 3 games to go, and the manager will always come out and say, "We've got 3 games to play," but I'm sure they'll have one. They'll be thinking about this playoff game.
Start resting the players' legs now for the playoff game.
This is the question you asked, Nick. Can they keep? Well, if they keep a clean sheet, well, they've got to keep a clean sheet against this.
I'm going to say it's virtually impossible, and to say that in a game of football between 2 sides, 11 versus 11,
big shout.
I'd have to say you've got to because they've done it all. They rip teams apart. What do? Do you start?
Well, the hell are going to change this team, aren't they, for this weekend?
No, I don't. No, I don't think so. I think they want the job to be done as soon as possible. As soon as they can do that and they win this league, then all of a sudden they can concentrate on everything else. They're going flat out in this game. They're just demolishing everyone in the way. So what do you do? What do you do, Chris? Do you just play one person up front? That's not worked because they'll find a way to get past you. It's just listen. The manager's got that problem, and it is a huge problem.
There's only 3 games to go, so they've got to get something out of this game, haven't they?
Goodness me. Could you imagine?
And let me just tell you now, sorry, Rodri, he went at one point, the manager, because everything's gone to plan and it slipped through his fingers. And all of a sudden at the end, that's why he was absolutely ecstatic, and rightly so.
Yeah, and he could be celebrating again this weekend if the results go their way. They win, Al Sadd lose. It could be another run around the park. So, Al Kharatiat versus Al Dahel. Nick first.
What should we go for, 4 or 5, or what do you think? Maybe
3-0 for me.
I'll go for another 5. 5-0. Yes.
3-0.
3-0. Okay, next up. Al Khor versus Qatar Sports Club. We cannot overemphasise the importance of Al Khor's win, Nick, in week 19. This was quite a massive win against Al Salia.
Wasn't the prettiest, but I don't think we were going to expect that. It was about them getting the 3 points, and it was a difficult game. They were under pressure for large amounts of the game, but they stuck at it. They brought this guy Sharouche back, and obviously they brought Madsen back. But let's forget about them too, because in a minute you'll see a wonderful goal from Hilal, which is absolutely fantastic.
I'm not going to put it up here, but I'll just tell you, Sharouche ran the most out of anybody in the QMB Stars League in week 19. He ran 12 kilometres.
There you go. But it's all about, this is the guy here with the finish. They made a substitution and he came on, and look at this guy here now with one of his first touches. Fantastic, and they needed it, and you could tell all the manager was running down the side of the pitch, all the players, and it was a huge 3 points because they were struggling to get a victory up till then. And does it put them more or less safe?
Yeah.
It puts them in a really good position.
5 point gap now.
Yeah, well, it's them and Al Kharatiat. Al Khor would still like to do something in this match against Qatar Sports Club. However, they're up against a real tough Qatar Sports Club, a side that fight. 2-0 down against Salal. And then, of course, what a sensation Omari's been, Chris?
Absolutely superb. He scored something like five goals since he joined the football club. But he's part of a team that have changed the system, they've changed the manager, he's come in and had an effect at the football club. They look like a proper football team now. And to come back from 2-0 down against themselves says a lot about Qatar Sports Club. I've been very impressed with them lately.
They could have a good cut run in the EMEA Cup. You know, they are. Look at them. You know, because for what they've done with the manager, I mean, they believe now. The club has got belief.
Yeah, with Bottom when he came in.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I remember having the discussion about them going down again.
Yeah. But they have Fabiano there. I think he's out only for a couple of weeks. So, you know, he's only just come back. So as soon as he get him back.
So, Al Khor, this is Qatar Sports Club. Chris?
I'll go Qatar Sports Club 2-1.
Okay. Nick?
I'm going to go the same.
Oh, you go the same.
No,
all right, thank you, gentlemen. Next up, Al Ahli versus Al Markhia. Al Ahli have been there mid-table for a good number of weeks now, pretty solid, even though they changed head coach during the season. This was a good win against Al Khairiyat. We saw the Al Khairiyat goals a little while ago. This is how Al Ahli found the back of the net on 3 occasions, Nick.
Yeah, going along. I like what they're all about. Obviously, some of the key players, Muntari, Chikawi came back. But I think they've improved. It wasn't happening for them early in the season, you know, but now they've got a bit of direction. We're talking about Qatar, the same type of thing. But these are obviously in a better position. And
they'd take 6th place, wouldn't they?
I tell you what, Chris, all of a sudden,
well,
I mean, we said straight away, the manager's got to be signed up straight away now and see what business he can do. The only thing at the moment is the 2 centre-halves. They're lacking in the 2 centre-halves, which is a problem. But I think they've had a tough season anyway. They've not had a full squad all the way along, so they get through it. And to finish off in 6th, that'll be fantastic for them. It gives them something to work on, and then obviously then the manager can do his bit of business in the summer.
Yeah, so 6th could be the target for them. And over the whole season, looking at it and the ups and downs they've had, I think we had a discussion about it in the review show. They can look at it as a very successful season.
I think the manager more than anyone would like to finish 6th. He's come from the youth team. He can always turn around to the board or the people in charge at the end of the season and say, I've done my job for the football club. Does he need rewarding now? Okay, let's hear now then from Jorge Perez del Campo.
There is we have problem about the 2 central back because one is in injury and another is with 4 yellow cards, and in that place you have any problem. That's why. But I believe with the other players and the players who go to play, sure that they will be good.
Okay, well they're up against Al Markhia. Just put this up here from stats. Some figures on one of their players, Eric de Oliveira Pereira. He had 20 penalty area entries in Al Markhia's 3-1 defeat against Al Arabi, the highest total in the QSL in week 19. That's what Eric did. However, he was only successful 5 times. The reason I grabbed that out, because I thought it just, you know, the effort is there, and it has been on many occasions, many matches during the season, but the quality, the final third, and what they do there has never quite materialised.
He could still be playling now.
This was your point.
He was never, ever going to score. And I mean, that's good stats for Eric there, but even he didn't look as though he was going to score in that game. So all this depends how you interpret these stats all the time. That looks really good, but I remember saying to Nick in commentary, you know, they're never going to score in this second half.
No, but it was quite a good game. It was back and forth, back and forth. Markhia were pushing forward. They were getting involved. But they just couldn't quite...
Until the edge of Al Arabi's penalty box. Al Arabi had everyone behind the ball, looked very confident in defence. And Al Markhia, the lowest goal scorers in the league so far this season, and it's going to stay that way because they just struggle to score goals, don't they?
Yeah, it's just not. You have to be honest. It's just not. The 6 points is a massive talking point, which have had them taken away from them. They've had a lot of players come into the club. It's just a little bit too late. I think the manager could have turned it around probably if he'd have come in a little bit earlier. But it's just a little bit too late for them, and it's disappointing really. Because could you say that they've given it the best? Could you say, well, hang on a minute, they gave it everything? No, because they only won 2 games of football. Sorry, 2 games. Yeah,
they did. I'm trying to pull something.
Is it 2 games or 1 game?
1 game.
Well, do you need to say any more?
Well,
there's your
3, but 2 of them were null and void.
Yeah, but can I just tell you, Rodri, that's your biggest stat of the lot.
Yeah,
only won 1 game of football.
Leon Minero, one of the other high points, if you like, Nick.
I like
we looked at Eric there. You know, it was a lovely free kick by Minero there. There was more to his game as well on the night.
Yeah, I do. He's wonderful. This was a good bit of thinking as well. They took the free kick quickly, and it was a wonderful strike.
But even this goal's from 30-odd yards out.
Yep.
But it's a, you know, he takes it early, and he definitely looks exciting. You know, this is what we like about him. You know, just watch how positive he is. Gets on the outside there, the defender pushes into the box, still manages to get his shot in, but it just goes wide. And yeah, he looks exciting. He looks really exciting. But what's he? It's difficult for him really now. What's the 2-3 games to go? So
yep.
He's definitely a talent.
So what happens in the game against Ahli Al Malkhia, Chris?
Go Ahli 2-1.
I keep saying 2-1 all the time throughout the season. Is it my turn to say 2-1 now?
You
can't go wrong with a 2-1, can you?
Are you going 2-1 as well?
Who to?
Oh, I don't know. It's your decision. It's not mine.
2-1 Ahli. Let's go.
All right. Okay.
Same as me then.
All right. There you go. Thank you very much. All right then. Let's once again then remind you of the league standings going into this week 20 and how they line up.
Going into week 20 of the QNB Stars League, Al Dahel could win the league this week if they win and Al Sadd lose. Al Rayyan are set to finish in 3rd, but 4th spot looks like it's going to be contested between Slal and Al Gharrafa. Although mathematically we still can't rule out Al Saliya, but their chances have drifted substantially. Down at the bottom, one more defeat for Al Markhia will consign them to the 2nd division, as long as Al Khor and Al Arabi win their matches. As for the fixtures, on Friday the 9th of March, Al Saliya meet Al Gharrafa at 1800, the same time as Slal and Al Sadd, and Al Rayyan will face Al Arabi at 2010, the same time as Al Khritiyat and Al Dahel. On Saturday the 10th, Al Khor are up against Qatar Sports Club at 1800, and Al Ahli are up against Al Markhia at 2010 Doha time.
Thank you, Shad and Wadan. Well, we're all set for week 20. So, from Nick Sumby, Chris Macon, and myself, bye for now.